Hello, friends. It's Jayashrii with the Finding Freedom podcast. This week's question is, how do I start on the spiritual path? And this is a beautiful question from a beautiful, beautiful soul, and a big question, huh? So what I would say is that we are all already on the spiritual path, whether we realize it or not. And as the saying goes, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. For me, I was born one of those beings who never really took the world seriously. I didn't really see it as real. I knew that it wasn't. I saw it for the illusion that it was. And at a very young age, I asked, who am I? I was only about 5 years old. I already knew that I was not the body and the mind, and I knew everyone else was in the same position, not being their body or mind either, but I could see that everybody was mistaking themselves for the physical and mistaking the physical for the real. And so when I decided, it occurred to me to ask, who am I? Well before I actually posed the question, because there was a bit of trepidation. I knew that in asking the question, who am I, that I would let go any last remnants of illusion of who I was. And I was shocked at what happened because I disappeared, and so did everything else. It was not anything I could have predicted. I was gone. And it was simply something I can't describe really at all. And if I even try, it will be a futile effort to even try. All I can say is that there was nothing. Wasn't bliss. There was no I. There was no duality. There were no characteristics. There was just one consciousness. Anyway, I did this several times as a kid, and there was still some connection, because I knew that if I didn't come back within a certain, period of time isn't obviously the right word, because this was beyond time and space. But if I stayed outside of this realm of duality for too long, I knew there wasn't an option to come back. And so somehow I returned. There was still some thread of consciousness tied to the illusion of duality that enabled the return. But it was one that would have basically snapped. I don't know, if I didn't come back within a certain, again, I can only think of the word time. And so I would come back. And it wasn't a one-off, wasn't one of those situations where I was sick and hallucinating. And no, this was something that I did consciously leave my body and leave this world. It all disappeared. But the point is that, so the spiritual path for me has been one of reconciling the illusion of this world of form and name with the knowledge of one. And so, conditioning set in, ego development set in. I became an actor on the stage, like everyone else. And then in school, I was always very philosophical. And in school, when we read the book Siddhartha, some other books, L'étranger, I was just, I thought, wow, thank you, So it was books that really got me to feeling like I had some companions out there, even if they were no longer alive. These authors, Tolstoy, Henry Miller. Anyway, I was an avid reader. I grew up without a TV. I don't have a TV now. And I began meditating. So I would say for someone who is interested in basically the path of self-realization, meditation is the most important thing we can do. Now, obviously, I didn't meditate in order to have the experience that I just described, so it's not necessary, but it is very helpful. For example, Ramana Maharshi does not advocate meditation, neither did Papaji, but many of his devotees, they still meditate, and they find it to be very, very helpful, as do I. I also practice yoga asana, and I find it to be very helpful in purifying the system and helping me to remember what is true and not be hoodwinked by the illusion of being a separate self. Some great books. There's a small, short book by Ramana Maharshi called Who Am I? I would highly recommend reading that. And starting a meditation program twice daily. You can start with 15 minutes twice a day or even 5 minutes twice a day. You don't want to overdo it. Also, I'm happy to work with anyone on a basis which certainly I don't consider myself a teacher and or a guru, of course, but I'm happy to provide a place of safe presence, and I can provide guidance. The guru is within you, though, and that's what I'll constantly remind anyone, is the guru is within you. And when we meditate, we plug into source, that magic and that mystery, which is beyond language, beyond science, beyond anything man-made. That's what I would recommend. So I'm just going to give 2 tips today. Meditation, read the book Who Am I? It's $3. It's so inexpensive, and it's very short. It's more like a pamphlet. And then feel free to contact me if I can be of service in any way, just as a listening ear, or if you would like to ask any questions or receive guidance in any way. Please share your thoughts and comments, and feel free to like, share with a friend, subscribe. As always, I wish you a beautiful day or evening in light, love, and presence. Namaskar.